Yo, what up, friends from Card Kingdom family? Kenji's back for some more drafting here of Phyrexia. All will be one. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And as always, you can check out cardkingdom.com/Numot for all of your Magic card-related needs. Thanks for tuning in. Let's jump into this draft here. We opened an Evolved Spinoderm. This card is the Blastoderm reprint style card of this format. It is very, very good. Obviously, there are going to be a bunch of good rares in any limited environment in any format, but this is a really, really strong one. So it enters with 4 oil counters and is a 5/5, and it has hexproof while you have 3 or more counters on it. So oftentimes you can just keep this a 5/5 hexproof for 4 just by proliferating with cards like Experimental Augury, Thrumming Bird, just anything with proliferate, and you can keep this really big and untouchable. And then even when it does lose a lot of counters, it's still a 5/5 trample. So easy pick there. We're not passing too much else. That is clear pick in this pack as we move into pack number 2, which does not have anything nearly as good. We'll go over the good cards though. Distorted Curiosity, fantastic card draw effect. It's just a divination baseline, and then if you have 3 or more poison on the opponent, you get to pay 1 for it instead. Hoverwings has been really, really good. Lots of good equipment in this format. This is the 4 Mirrodin version of things, so they always come equipped with a 2/2 token. What else do we have here? Another Augury. What's the card that goes best with the Evolved Spinoderm? I'm actually not sure. I don't mind just taking a nice little card draw effect. Blue-green Proliferate is an archetype I haven't seen too much of, but it is a thing you could do in this format. It's kind of a hybrid deck, though. I feel like blue-green, if you do end up in it, is more of like the oil and poison mechanic deck, but nothing wrong with just taking a divination with upside, so we'll go with that. Into maybe a fight effect here if we wanted to. In green to go with the Spinoderm. There's also a Jawbone Duelist. This is another really, really solid 2-drop. You'd really need to get on the board early in this format just because of the way that the cards line up. It's really strange. Like, so many cards in this format are 2 mana and have toxic. And then if they start getting online and you start getting poison counters, it's really hard to come back from that. Yeah, I guess it's probably the best card here. No need to align myself with green if Duelist is just better than Predation. So 1/1 double striking toxic for 2 mana. And go from there. Nice. Getting one of the better 2-drops in green, the Armored Scrap Gorger. So similar to because why you need to have, similar to why there are so many good 2-drops in this format. I don't know what I'm saying. I streamed for 9 hours before this. I can't talk. This is a good 2-drop. Let's put it like that. Because there are so many good other 2-drops that have toxic, that generally have 1 to 2 power. A card like this just does a ton of work. It has a ton of synergies with oil, and it eats the graveyard and gets bigger. What's not to love about that? So we'll take the Scrap Gorger here. Blightstalker, whatever, is fine. Another good 2-drop, 2/2 toxic one. First strike on your turn. Scrap Gorger, the easy pick for me. Yeah, maybe we're going to do like a green-white style of poison. We are getting a Planar Disruption here, 5th pick, and another Hexgold Hoverwings. This is an interesting choice. I do think the Hoverwings are good, but so is Disruption. Yeah, it's between one of these 2 white cards. It's a little bit awkward if I pass 2 Hoverwings, I guess. So maybe I'm supposed to just take this one and pass the Disruption, but either way, we're sending kind of a weird signal. There is a Dune Mover in the next pack. There is a Prologue to Phyrexia. Prophetic Prism, I guess, if we want to do some splashy nonsense could be okay. Still really just super open to any game plan. I don't know. I mean, the Dune Mover is going to go into any deck. 2 mana toxic creature can help filter your draws, set you up. Seems like a good enough card to take here. Any notable cards? All right, a couple of good green cards now again. Cultivator's been really, really solid. Ideally, you play this in like red-green, the oil deck, but it's fine elsewhere. Another Ruthless Predation, which we're probably going to end up taking for a little bit of removal. And even Thirsting Roots is not bad. Like, this is one of those multiple effect land tutor cards that even if you don't need a land later on, the Proliferate is often relevant enough. But let's go with the Punch effect. Into perhaps a Complete Devotion. This has been a really good poison card, though it doesn't look like I'm really going that far into poison right now. I still think we want to take it over Sinew Dancer. Yeah, that makes sense. Green-white is the heavy toxic theme, the poison theme, so this is one of the best tricks for that deck because it gives not only a big boost, but also draws you a card. Similarly, Incisor Glider is really strange. Like, it's a fantastic 2-drop because it's a 1/3 flyer, so it blocks the majority of the early toxic creatures, but it's also good in toxic itself because if you have Corrupted, it starts antheming your creatures when you attack. So it can attack as like a 2/4 while also pumping all your other stuff. Oh, geez, we wield the Hover Wings too. Okay. I guess I'm going to lean into going green-white. I mean, the Hover Wings are going to be great if we just get a bunch of the smaller, non-flying toxic creatures by themselves anyways, right? Like, suit up the Duelist here with the Hover Wings, and it's a 2/1 flying double strike toxic 1. That's very good. Good start. All right, next few pickups. We're probably not going to find anything too relevant here at this point in the game, but yeah, we did find another toxic creature. I guess there's a world where we ditch the green and we could still be like white-black. Scrap Trap would be good if we end up in white-black. Card that proliferates on ETB and also proliferates when it dies. Zealot's Conviction is surprisingly okay too. Like, if you have the Corrupted, a 1-mana flash enchantment that gives your creature +2/+1 in first strike is really, really scary. Helm, I don't think is that good as far as the 4 Mirrodin cards are concerned. Not in this deck, anyway. Okay, so leaning towards white toxic, maybe playing green with it. We opened a Graz Unstoppable Juggernaut. This is a fun card, but it is not a good card. First and foremost, 8 mana is really, really expensive. This format is quite fast, so getting to 8 is kind of impossible. And the ability is cute, but not good. The regular rare we opened, however, is very good, and that is the Venerated Rot Priest. I've heard of rumors that this card has been killing people on like turn 3 or 4 in Standard. And, well, that's pretty gross if true. But it's a 1-mana 1/2 toxic 1. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, not just your own, just any spell, the opponent gets a poison counter. Pretty darn good. 1-drop toxic creatures are nice. And we don't lose anything in this pack. Like, Sack is okay. Good grind out card. Ribskiff's fine. Toxic vehicle that cycles or draws you a card when it enters. That's a very easy Rot Priest for us, though. A card I've been coming around to in Limited is the Charge of the Mites. I think this might actually be a lot more powerful than I initially give it credit for. Instant speed, it can be used as a removal spell if you have creatures on the battlefield already. Or you can add some extra toxic creatures to your battlefield. I mean, they are the mites, so they don't block, but oftentimes just having a couple of toxic creatures is all you really want anyway, so I don't mind second picking it here. I think it's pretty good. This is an amazing pack for us. Wow. Sheesh. This is just an amazing pack in general. So Duelist, another great 2-drop toxic. Crawling Chorus has actually been pretty solid as well, similar to why Charge of the Mites has been good. Just getting the early toxic creatures great. Contagious Vorak, best green common maybe. It's a 3/3 for 3 that either draws you a land or proliferates. Another Charge of the Mites. Basilica Shepherd doesn't have toxic itself, but it's a 3/3 flyer for 5 that makes 2 toxic mites. Porcelain Zealot, another really, really good one for the aggro decks and that are especially toxic. Infested Flesh Cutter I've had good success with. It allows your smaller toxic creatures to bash in. And then we just have the best common in the format, Anoint with Affliction here. I kind of like taking one of these two. I think I like taking the Duelist as just a 2-drop infect creature or toxic creature. I think that's more important here for us. And now we can probably take the Crawling Chorus this time. There is another consideration, though. Vivisection Evangelist is so stupid strong in the poison deck. 5 mana, 4/4 Vigilance, and then if your opponent has 3 or more poison counters, it just kills a creature or planeswalker. So very, very strong. I think we're going to stick with the green. If Crawling Chorus wasn't here, we would definitely take it. It's worthy of a splash, but I'm going to stick with the on-color card. And I think I'm going to go with another Charge of Mites over Plague Nurse, which has also been a decent one. I think 4 toughness in this format is a pretty magical number. And this one has Toxic 2 in addition to a pretty strong ability. Also another Rib Skiff, but like I said, I think I've come down on the Rib Skiff, so I'll take the Charge over the Plague. Into maybe now getting a Basilica Shepherd. Let's do that. Vanish into Eternity is okay, but especially since we just took another Charge of the Mites, getting a Basilica Shepherd, which makes 3 creatures, just makes the charges that much better, you know? Another Ruthless Predations, fantastic, okay. Really good with our Rot Priests. So there's a green-white uncommon in this format. It's called Singer, something Singer. It's a 2/2 for 2. With Toxic 2, I believe. And then whenever another creature you control with Toxic attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So that's the card we're really, really going to be looking out for. The namesake green-white card. But even if we don't get that, I think our start is really good. We have 2 1-drop Toxic creatures. 1, 2, 3, 2. So we need more 2-drops right now. But otherwise, I think our deck is quite strong. And what are we getting here? Getting a green Spell Bomb or Skull Bomb? Unfortunately, this is the worst of the Spell Bombs that we could get. I mean, the only other one would be the white one. But the white one gives +2/+2 in flying, which is more important. I think the evasion is better than the trample generally for the Toxic deck. So I don't think Expand the Sphere is anything we want to be taking, though. 4 mana Proliferate 2 is like... Actually, you know what? Maybe I try this. It doesn't look very good, but it could be worth attempting since the format is so fresh. Another card I've had really, really good experiences with is the Carnivorous Canopy here. So many good flying or artifact or enchantment cards in the format. This usually has a pretty good hit in your opponent's deck. I might start this off in the sideboard for now, but it's going to be a card that we're happy to have in our sideboard. Nothing here for us. Wow. Holy crap. Well, we wield basically everything here. I will take the Porcelain Zealot this time. But, I mean, any 4 of these cards are just crazy good pickups. That is a really weird signal that we're sending down, but what are you going to do? Alright, and looks like... Oh, even a Vanish is not bad. So, pretty damn good second pack. One more pack to go. Yeah, we are in fantastic shape. As we open the Phyrexian Obliterator. It's a nice callback. There are a bunch of callbacks in this format. I mean, you can get the 5 Praetors as well, so don't be too surprised if your opponent plays like a Sheoldred against you or an Urabrask or something, because those are things that will show up every once in a while. We just have another Complete Devotion here for us. Pretty weak pick 1 here in pack 3, but definitely a card we're happy to take overall. Let's see, Infectious Bite. This is a nice punch effect, not a fight. Punch effect that gives the opponent a poison. Icarspit Basilisk would be another fine choice here. Let's go biting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. Yeah, still need a few more ways to make some toxic creatures, but otherwise I think our deck is quite good. Next pack gives us a bunch of good red cards. That's unfortunate. Jor-Kadim, pretty good one for the red-white equipment deck. Rebel Salvo, just really good removal. Slash, really good removal. Only thing here for us is like the Indoctrination Attendant. 3/4 toxic one that you can bounce a permanent and make a 1/1 might when it ETBs. Good enough. Oftentimes you're just going to be bouncing a land, but maybe we have some other value we can bounce later on. I think the most important card that we don't have is the Flensing Raptor. I'm not even sure we've seen too many of those. We're still getting good cards. That's another late Anoint. And man, Hex Gold Slash too. But another Porcelain Zealot is pretty good. 4 mana, 2/3. Target creature control gets +1/+1 until end of turn, or +2/+2 if it's toxic is nice. Okay. How many Porcelain Zealots is too many Porcelain Zealots? This feels like way too many 4-drops. Or maybe I'm just not even supposed to run these Hover Wings. I don't know. Like Plague Nurse seems really good. Let's take that over the 3rd Zealot, I guess. There's one of the Atrocities. We hadn't seen one of those yet either. 4/4 Haste, Toxic 3 for 5 looks nice. Another Charge of the Mites. We will end up playing that for sure. I think I can actually cut the Hover Wings. Oh, there goes a white Skull Bomb as well. It's the one I was talking about. But yeah, 3 charges looks good. I mean, they just get better together, you know? The first one can make the tokens. The second one can deal damage. I think probably Zealot's Conviction could possibly be a cut now as well. Or possibly 16 lands is okay. It's kind of funny. We first picked the Evolved Spinoderm, but it's not going to have that much synergy in our deck. It's just going to be a good 4-drop. Oh my lord. That is a Necrogen Rot Priest. Man, I wonder if green-black would have worked out too. I mean, it felt like a ton of different colors for us were open. Like this is the 5th Hex Gold Slash or something we're seeing, but the Rot Priest is so stupid good. Toxic 2. Gives extra toxic whenever the opponent gets damaged, and then it gives Death Touch to creature with toxic. That's just one of the best uncommons in the format. Yeah. A lot of black was going around, no doubt about that. I mean, it's not even like we got a bad deck. Maybe even this is playable in our deck. I wonder if it could actually be correct to cut the Spinoderm. How crazy is that? That's probably insane. But the Maze's Mantle does seem good. Flash Enchantment +2/+2, and then gives Hexproof if it's a toxic creature. So I can definitely see that being worth it here. Maybe better than Conviction. We have 2 Devotions as well, but those are better since they draw cards. Gosh, I'm actually considering cutting the 4 mana 5/5 and just going full toxic. I guess 17 lands is unnecessary. I guess we can probably just get away with 16 lands instead. And that way I get to run the Spinoderm after all. I think that's good. Let's see, 2 1-drops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2-drops, 3 3-drops. Yeah, we do have 5 4-drops. Okay, I'm going to try to cut the Spinoderm and just go more synergy. This might be a little bit crazy, but hell, let's try it. Go something like this. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, and let's go 8/8. Because sadly, we still need early green. Seems like a little fun green-white toxic deck. Let's go to round 1 and see if we can win some games. All right, here we are for round 1 of this Phyrexia All-Will-Be 1 draft with our green-white toxic. No Flensing Raptors, but let's see if we can get some stuff going on as we Open with a really nice looking hand. On the play with a 1-drop, 2-drop trick. Seems good. Good luck, have fun indeed. Turn 1, Toxic. Let's go. Hey, the opponent is a Rot Priest. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Mirror match already, but I'm going to go ahead and smack in. If they want to block, I'll go ahead and go for the Devotion. Great. If they don't, we just play Dune Mover. Great. Go ahead and grab a second Plains with this. As they have turn 2 Cankerbloom. All right. Yep, we're happy with the trade. Prophetic Prism, sure. I mean, I think I'm okay to just keep attacking in. I'd rather get the extra toxic on them. I don't really mind them getting a toxic on me. Oh, but if they are going to block, I will go for the Devotion, of course. Good. Staff of Completion. Okay. I saw this in one of my other drafts. I'm not sure how to quite to rate that card. I think it's probably decent. Like, it's really good if you're playing against a toxic deck like I am. But I'm going to go ahead and just Shepherd here. And then we can like vanish and do a turn to it next turn if we want to. So they can kill their own permanent, which I don't know how that would be super good in this format, but I'm sure there are ways. They can ramp, they can proliferate, they can draw a card. And they have the Rot Priest. That is scary. That is scary. I think the Rot Priest is actually the card that we want to just get rid of here and keep smacking. So they're going to go up to 5 toxic and take 5 or 6 damage as well. Every damage they take is also super relevant because it's harder for them to activate the staff, you know? Into a Lattice Blade Mantis. I am okay with this. Oh, do they have a Glare to kill my flyer? They're going to sack their Prism, maybe? Remember, this only gives Hexproof to the toxic creatures, so otherwise it's just a pump. Yeah, they did. Perfect. Ooh, very good draw. Very good draw. Okay. So we get to go Rot Priest here. Zealot. Pump. Attack. They traded with the token. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Oh, wait. They could have just eaten the other one. All right. Well, that was pretty good. Our draw was great. Our deck did the thing. Again, still super early in the format. I'm not sure how to feel about the toxic mechanic. A lot of games come down to who's curving out better, and both players are starting at like 10 life. If this deck had like 2 Flensing Raptors, I think it would be insano, but as it stands, I think it's just very good, and we drew well, so. Is this a keep? I am not sure. 2 removal spells, but we don't have a creature until turn 4, so. This feels like I'm actually supposed to mulligan down to 6 and try to find some earlier stuff to do. Alright, I mean, this hand's not amazing, but I guess it's a keep. The Dune Mover can go grab another land. So, I'm going to pitch the double green Tyrannax. Okay, they've got a Cultivator here. Seems like they're on a little bit of a more hybrid style deck. I'll go ahead and grab a forest here with the Dune Mover, since not only did we just draw a 4-drop, but we have a 5-drop in our hand anyways. They have the Contagious Vorak. It's a nice one. So we'll just go land pass. I'm not gonna... Don't think I'm supposed to aggressively attack. Not that I think it would necessarily be bad to. Okay. Alright, so they've got a nice damage curve going. I'm glad they played their card pre-combat. I am going to block in Devotion. We end up trading, but that's okay. So Plague Nurse into Shepherd seems like a fine enough curve. Already feels like we're pretty far behind, honestly. So this is a 4/3 that enters with 2 oil counters, and then whenever it attacks, you can remove one of its oil counters, untap it, and give it +1/+1. Really solid 4-drop in this format. Very aggressive. Okay, there's their Rot Priest as well. I guess we're just going to play out Shepherd, but we can combine the Conviction plus the Predation to kill the Rot Priest. Although I expect us to be more threatened by their regular damage than by the Toxic currently. Oh, they are going to attack with the Rot Priest. Okay. I will take the 6 here. No blocks. That's going to give us 3 Toxic, 3 Poison. So that means any of their Corrupt cards are going to be online now. Including that Skitterling. Ooh, that was also a pretty solid draw. I guess I'll just Tyrannax and pass. Because the Tyrannax is super, super good with all of the tricks that we have in our hand, the Predation and the Conviction. Cankerbloom is fine. I will trade Shepherd for that if they attack like this. Sure. This doesn't have Toxic, so I don't think we need to keep it. Okay. Indoctrination. So this can give itself Toxic. So while they have 3 open mana available, I don't think it's a good idea to try to fight that. Could kill the Skitterling, because that is kind of annoying, but for now I'm going to go with the Attendant. Bounce a land, replay the land. Need to find some of our Charge of the Mites. We have 3 of them, and they currently deal 6 damage to a creature. Oh, 6 land for Vanish into Eternity would also be good enough. That'll do. Alright, let's target the Rot Priest. They'll sack it in response, draw with Skitterling. And then I think we just pass. We have okay attacks, but they have okay double blocks, and since we have the double removal spell or double trick in our hand, we'd rather wait for that. I guess there was no need for me. In fact, that was a mistake, wasn't it? There was no need for me to main phase the Vanish if I was just going to make that play anyways. Whoopsies. All right, let's go for the Predation. We're going to fight with our least relevant toxic creature. And hopefully what we see is just them sacrificing it in response and not having a removal spell in response. Perfect. Yeah, now we just attack all out. Because with the Plague Nurse ability, this is going to add a bunch of poison to them. In fact, this is just lethal toxic if they take it. Okay. Instantly 10 poison with the Plague Nurse, giving all of our other creatures an additional toxic one. Nice game. GG. Alright, on to round number 2 here of this Phyrexia. All will be 1 draft. We've won the die roll again because we're great. But we have a garbage hand, so we gotta ship it down to 6. I mean, it's not a good 6, but it's a keepable 6. Ideally, we find anything good to do on turn 2. Any of our toxic creatures on turn 2, or just drawing one of our 1-drops on turn 2 would be fine as well, but... Ooh, that's a cool looking swamp. Alright, 2-drop creature, come on. Preferably with toxic. Alright, we drew another Charge of the Mites. That's not bad. Like I said, they always get better in multiples, and it's really good with the Indoctrination Attendant too, since the Attendant makes 2 creatures. So it seems like we're probably going to be firing this off for creatures on the first one, and then maybe damage on the second one. Zealot's a fantastic draw too. If we draw a land next turn, we can pump up one of the Mites, and that's going to allow it to more likely be able to get in. So come on, deck, give me one more land, please. What you doing over there, opponent? Blue, black. Ah, they might be on the heavy proliferate poison plan. Whoa, they're running the Ickermoon Gauntlet. That is awesome. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose a counter on target permanent. Put an additional counter of that kind on that permanent. Really cool. But if they don't develop to the board, we're going to kill them pretty quickly. I guess they could have potentially like a Kaito for the ability too. Ah, so they're going to turn the Gauntlet into a 4/4. I see. I see. Dang, one more land would be sweet here. Let's go for the charge. If they have the -1/-1 effect, we get kind of wrecked here. If they don't, then they're kind of screwed. Oh, wait, they messed up badly, didn't they? Oh, they did have it. Whoopsies. Wow, so if they had Whispered of the Dross in response to my Charge of the Mites, I wouldn't have killed the Retrofitter. Uh-oh. That was unfortunate for them. Trawler Drake plus a Watcher, sure. I think we just attack with the Duelist and keep our Might alive. Oh, it's really tempting to kill that thing, but I think running out the double creature makes a lot of sense. The issue is... Oh, they just conceded. I was going to say, the issue is it's really easy to get the Trawler Drake fat. Let's bring in a Canopy here versus them, it looks like. But, I mean, hey, our deck is working very well. No complaints. Maybe I can cut one of these Ruthless Predations on the draw in trade for the Canopy. Yes, yes, yes. Activate windows. I know, I know. All right, game 2 here of round 2. On the draw, hand looks great. Turn 1 Chorus, turn 2 Duelist. Hopefully draw like a Charge on turn 3 and then Zealot on 4. Ooh, opponent mulligan to 5. That is not ideal. Hey, we drew exactly the Charge. All right, our curve is once again insano. They have the Malcator's Watcher. That's fine. If they don't trade, I'm going to be worried that they have that creature that makes the thing a 4/4, but it looks like they did not. Oh, another Watcher, sure. I think I'm just going to attack for 2 and pass. They might block anyways because they missed a land drop. There's land number 3 for them. Into a 2/2 flyer. All right, so we're going to charge, make some tokens end of turn. Then we're going to play the Zealot. Pump up one of our tokens. Attack for 5 and 2 Toxic. Yeah, our deck is just curving out splendidly. 4 mana, 6/6. They have to sack another creature because I don't have any Toxic. Let's see. Well, if I attack here, I can push in minimum 4 damage and 3 poison. But I think we'd rather just wait, since I can vanish the Necro Titan next turn. That's fine. Ah, that's pretty good. But that's a card that we can just predation, so I don't mind that. So let's pass. Go for Vanish on the 6/6 end of turn, into Predation on their Retrofitter, as they play a 4/3 flyer that loots when it enters. Alright, so now we are once again in beautiful shape. Blow that up. Punch this. Pump here. And they can eat one of my 1/1s, but I'm okay with that now, because then they'll still take 7, take 3 more toxic. Pretty freaking brutal. GG's! All right, and like that, we are quickly 2-0 with this white-green toxic. Let's go, 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 baby. And for the third and final round, I have correctly won the die roll again, so let's be on the play. Hand is fine. It needs to find a third land for Charge of the Mites, but this looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit heavy on the combat trick type stuff. Could also just draw any of our 2-mana toxic creatures, but yeah, ideally we find a land by turn 3, so a couple draws to find it, because, again, the Devotion here doesn't draw a card if we target our Incisor Glider. Okay, that is not a good draw. So really need to find that land next turn. The Incisor Glider combos did find the land. Perfect. I could attack here and go for the Devotion or go for this post-combat Ruthless Predation, but I don't think we want to do that. We'd rather just get our toxic creatures online, especially since we have the complete Devotion for them anyways. Alright. 2 mites. Land is good. What do we want to do here? What do we want to do here? Could just play out the Plague Nurse. Could Predation. This is kind of interesting. I guess we'll just play out the Plague Nurse this turn. That gives us a really solid creature to use Predation with, and the Lightbringer has Ward 2, so I'd have to pay 4 mana in essence. Ooh, they have a Blade of Shared Souls. This one's really sweet. It's a 2/2 that when it enters, you can copy any creature. And whenever you re-equip that, you can also copy a creature once again. Very cool little equipment. Dune Mover. I mean, I kind of need to start killing these things off, right? Feels like I should. Yeah, I guess this is probably the right play. Well, actually, no. I'm supposed to kill this Lightbringer, aren't I? Because if I kill this one, it's actually just a token. So I don't think we want to do that. The token is copying the Lightbringer that was. Ah, Watcher's really, really good with the blade as well, but they can't move the blade here, otherwise they lose the Lightbringer. Like, they could turn the Watcher into another 1/3, but I don't think that's a good play for them, right? Yeah, it's not. Okay, so now I think we attack. Go for the Devotion. Perfect. And let's play a 2/2 first striking toxic creature. So as soon as we kill the Incisor Glider now, they're going to be in a real rough spot. Like Ruthless Predation the Glider, attack with everything, activate our Nurse, give them a bunch of toxic. Then our Glider turns on for Corrupted. So they have a Mirin Bardiche, okay. That's fine. So if we fight here, they would have to double block to kill it. Yeah, I don't love trading off my 1/1s, but I think I'm going to make this play. Oh, maybe they keep the 1/1? No, they didn't. All right, so let's add extra toxic to them. I think we're kind of falling behind, though. Hopefully they just equip this, I guess. And it would turn into, what, a 3/4? That's not too bad. Sure. So now we can attack with our Glider and our Nurse. They can bounce. This is to other toxic creatures you control, so no need for us to pump that up. We just need to find like one more good interactive spell. And hope that they don't have like a White Sun's Twilight here. Nope, that's exactly what I said not to do. White Sun's Twilight's one of the best rares, if not the best rare in the format. It's just so stupid good. Gain X life, create X 1/1 colorless mites, and then if X is 5 or more, you blow up all of their creatures, so. Looks like that's probably going to be game over. Now, if they don't play out another blocker, Charge of the Mites, we can hit them for 2 more toxic, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a world where we can get out of this, but we need to hope they have nothing, and yeah. I need to draw like Tyrannix. And that is not it. All right, that will be game over, but I will attack first. See if they use another trick that they could have. Well, no shame in losing to the White Sun. Don't know if we have any way to actually beat that. Canopy in. I guess the Mantle doesn't look that good versus them. Hoverwings, I guess, also comes in because we don't have to go too much all in, or rather, we don't have to hand dump. With the Hoverwings, we can play this out and then just keep moving around the equipment. Not much to say there, though. I mean, again, you can't really complain about losing the White Sun. That card is just stupid good. Looks like a mulligan to 6 to me. And that hand is very nice. We pitch up planes here. We go turn 1 Rot Priest, turn 2 Duelist, turn 3 Charge. Beautiful. They do need to get to 7 mana, so maybe we can just beat them down before they can get the Twilight online. Oh man, our hand is really good. 1-drop Toxic, really good creature. 2-drop Toxic, good creature. Now we just drew Bite and have Charge. Can bite that bad boy. They get Toxic from the Rot Priest trigger. They're already at 5 Toxic. 5 poison, I should say. Another one. Wow. But no lands. Yeah, I think we're just going to attack with both. And then use the chart. Since they're missing lands, I'm going to make 2 1/1s here instead. Alright, nice. That puts them to 9. Alright, okay. Not much of a game 2 there. Let's get the Spinoderm in for the final game. And actually maybe cut the Hover Wings instead. No, the Hover Wings are really good, aren't they? I guess maybe on the draw I cut the Zealot's Conviction. Let's go like that. How's our opening hand? 3 forests? Oh no. 1 white source in this hand would be great. Yeah, but once again we got a mulligan down to 6er. And that's a keepable 6. Let's lose the Glider here and keep the Mover, the Spinoderm, and the Pump spell that draws. Very nice. Good draw off the top, obviously. If you're going to draw Crawling Chorus, you want to do it on turn 1. Sure. I am A-okay with that. That is a card we are happy to attack into. And get the poison rolling. Dune Mover now grabs Forest. And that means we have Spinoderm on turn 4 at this rate. I guess I'm just going to attack with both. And if they put the Lightbringer on the Chorus, I'm okay just to trade with the Complete Devotion. Keep the board clear. We will take it. Still get a 1/1 Might as well. Into a draw 2. All right, that is a free turn for us. Get the Spinoderm down. This is going to be a weird game where we kind of go both routes, toxic and regular damage. Ever present, though, will be the White Sun's Twilight. I mean, if they have it, we're never going to beat it if they can cast it for 5. But 5/5 hexproof is a good start. They have the Strider. Sure, we can just Carnivorous Canopy that, thankfully. So they're at 14 and 3 poison. They are at 5, maybe 6 mana. Okay, good. They didn't have a land, at least. Oh, the hover wings are going to be really nice here. So I assume they just take this. So this dies as soon as the oil counters are gone, notably. So at the beginning of my upkeep, I remove an oil counter. Then if it has no oil counter, sacrifice it. So it's going to die, not next turn, but the turn after. Maybe Spellbomb cycle on my token. Yep, indeed. That's fine. Rot Priest is good. This only triggers on spells, though. I guess we're just going to equip here for the 1 extra point of damage. They might soak it up with the glider, honestly. (6/5) flying trample. I'm glad we brought in the wings. Yep, they are. So they're going to go to 6. But now the flyer's gone, so the hover wings equipping onto something else looks really solid. There's land number 6. And they have a Malcator. Make a 3/3 at the beginning of your end step. If 3 or more artifacts entered, you make another 3/3. Okay. Charge of the Mites. That makes another 3/3. That is exactly what we're talking about. They might not have the Wrath, though, if that's the play they're making. So this dies. We equip the wings. Play the Scrap Gorger. Hit him for 4. Put him to 2. All right. Is it good enough? Draw a card. I like seeing that. I probably should have just been starting the hover wings in the deck to begin with. Again, with so many cheap toxic... Well, I guess I don't have that many cheap toxic creatures, but just any cheap toxic... Or any toxic creatures in general. You know. I will say, they have me on like a 2-turn clock. So if they do have a removal spell... No, that doesn't work. Yeah, they had to cycle it. They have to look for something else. Because if they bounce the equipped creature, I just re-equip to something else. All right. Looks like we're going to get them here. So the White Sun's Twilight was able to get us in game 1, but game 2, they kept a 2-land hand and got mana screwed, so didn't really have a game 2. Game 3 here, we were just able to pressure super well on the play. And there we go. Nice little trophy. So far, we have not lost any drafts here on Magic Online. I mean, we've only done 2 now, but each one has been with a white toxic aggro deck like this. So games are swingy, games are fast, and this was a really nice little green-white toxic one. I mean, this is so troll not starting the Spinoderm especially, or the hover wings, but it worked out in the end. I thought we went for pure synergy and it got us there. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back next week. Bye-bye.